How much attention do you spend thinking about history? And specifically, how much time do you spend thinking about how capital markets have performed in the past to help you inform decisions that you might be making in the future? We'll discuss that.
This is Make Better Wealth Decisions, a podcast about financial blind spots, decision making, and how the reality of higher rates, global tensions, and tariff instability impact your investments. I'm your host, John DeGuy, a portfolio manager with Design Securities in Toronto.
This past week, we spoke with Philip Taves of New York, who is a portfolio manager, but also an author. And his book, talking about the behavioral portfolio, was something that I found fascinating. And it was something that I thought I should share with you in terms of what you might want to do in a practical sense with whatever financial decisions you have to make. When you think about whether you should be buying asset class A or B, or whether you should be rebalancing your portfolio or taking profits or whatever, how much do you stop and think about, well, where are valuations today relative to where they have been previously? Or if you're freaking out because markets are doing poorly, in your opinion, how much time do you spend thinking and going back and say, well, how bad could it be? What happened the last time we had a market like this? One of the examples that Philip uses in his book was that the Nikkei 225, the larger cap index in Japan, hit its all-time high in 1989 at the end of the year. And it didn't actually get back to that level until last year, 2024. It was a 33, or maybe 2023. It's a 33-year run of markets being underwater. So when you say you take a long time horizon, have you ever diarized how long your time horizon would be? Because my sense is virtually no one is ready for waiting 33 years for their portfolio to get back to where it was previously. What about stagflation? We are in a situation right now in 2025 that a lot of people think a lot like what we experienced in 1974 and 75. We had oil price shocks that caused inflation to spike. And at the same time, the economy had gone stagnant and was actually contracting. We had a recession. So we have a combination now where in the middle of May, we've had the central bank in the US once again saying we will not cut rates because we don't think inflation is under control yet. Meanwhile, the economy is slowing and we had the US economy actually contract in Q1 of 2025, meaning a recession is now highly probable, but we won't know for sure until the next little bit when the data comes out in the summer. What will you do? When you make decisions about how you invest and why, do you stop and reflect upon history? Do you say, we've been here before? Because a lot of people would make better wealth decisions if they could make them with their eyes wide open, studying history, thinking about context, and then going back and reflecting upon their own behavior. If you think of how long it took people to get out of the recession of the mid-1970s, that might give you a window as to how long you might have to wait if we went into a stagflationary recession in 2025. Now, obviously, things change and history doesn't repeat accurately, completely, but it rhymes. And so we're now in a situation where we have to think about, well, what will we do if the situation is like this? And a good way to think about whatever this is to look at the last time we were in a similar market, similar environment, think about how things played out and think about how you would have acted if you stayed the course and maybe how you might have reacted in hindsight and what you might have done, and think about what you might wish to do differently. I'm not saying you should do one or the other. I'm saying you should stop and think and be purposeful, because being purposeful is how we make better wealth decisions.
This podcast is not to be construed as offering specific investment advice. Please consult a qualified advisor before acting. My books, Stand Up to the Financial Services Industry and Bullshift, are available online. If you'd like to meet to discuss how the topics in this podcast affect you directly, please visit my website.